And again, besides the fact that it was such a welcome intervention, it came here with clear focus on people who are disadvantaged, and specifically people who are marginalized by the dispensation that was existing then. And this made it unique, so that when we went around following up the alumni to hear their stories, a lot of them told us this scholarship was the first fair thing that had happened in their lives. Yeah, that for many of them, and they will be testifying soon, we will put a few of them on the spot, they had never expected fairness in anything. So that some applied for this scholarship and didn't look forward to it. Yeah, because they didn't think they would get anyway. The system was not such that you expected fairness. So the manner in which the scholars were selected was unique from the experiences that we got to hear. Everyone from wherever part of Kenya they came experienced IFP in a unique way. I must thank the alumni again, because we called you sometimes on weekends and you agreed to come and meet us and share your stories. And those stories were long. I wish that we could publish everything that we were told. Unfortunately, we can't. So let me run down a few things that stand out from the long stories that we had. One of the things we had is that this scholarship enabled the alumni, first of all, to become aware of the social injustices that surrounded them. Some of them didn't even know that they were marginalized until their experience with IFP. And then it ignited a commitment in them to social justice, so that some of them discovered they were victims they had not known. Some of them understood that they had been perpetrators of injustices by prejudices against other people. And that is something that IFP did to the alumni. Besides that, most of the alumni went to premier academies. And so they got rigorous training that imbued them with skills that they could maybe not find locally. And so that rigorous training was important in knowledge, in capacity development, but more importantly, in shifting mindsets. One lady told us, and she's in this room, that her work ethics changed because of her interaction at the university where she went. And she learned that when you report to work in the morning, you work. You don't start reading newspapers in the office. And that is something she says she would not have learned if she did not have this experience. But besides the fact that they got the exposure and they got the rigorous training, Kenya is a very credentialist society as well. You need to flaunt titles for people to listen to you. Kenyans listen to the messenger more than the message. So that if you introduce yourself as Mr. So-and-so and you say something, and someone else who knows less than you do introduces themselves as doctor, they are listened to more. So the fact that this was an opportunity to add to their credentials was very important. Most of them were already doing work in social justice, but this bolstered their stature and enabled them to do much more and accomplish more. They did a lot on community as well. And for many of them, they have become role models. And I remember us going to Kariobangi and Dandora and speaking to community members. And they told us about one of the alumni that the best thing he has done is just to be himself. Go to school, succeed, and show the young people here that it is possible. Because this is an informal settlement in Nairobi where a lot of young people are always at war with the security agencies because of crime. And so for young people to have someone who has come from within their ranks, whom they can see that it is possible to make it in life by going to school and achieving without engaging in crime, the community appreciates that. They think it is very important for them. And the same story can be told about many ladies who have come from places where it was not imaginable that a lady should go to school beyond the age of 15. You should be married. Someone needs to collect dowry by that time. So if you can continue to be in school and achieve greater heights, that alone in itself has had great impact on the community. And that is something that the alumni, those in this room and those not here, have contributed to community development. A lot of them are sitting in offices that are very important for policy making in Kenya. And they are quietly contributing to shifting policies in favor of social justice. And this is something that, again, we'll hear a bit more from the alumni who are here. We will put them on the spot and ask them a bit about their own role in making sure that this arc moves in the right direction. But they are doing a lot of work, and this is something that we got from the many interviews we had with the alumni, with other stakeholders in the country, and from the communities where they work. Many of them are mentoring other young people through universities and in their communities as well. That doesn't mean that there were some challenges that they have encountered in their effort to do this work. One of the greatest challenges, and I am happy that the director has already spoken about this, is the issue of not being able to coalesce together after the studies. And that is a challenge that remains, and it's a challenge that needs to be worked on, so that this team, because individually the alumni are very powerful in Kenya, but collectively they remain weak because they haven't been able to speak in one voice as a team. They haven't addressed social justice as a team. They have addressed aspects of social justice individually where they find themselves working. That is a challenge that remains. One other thing that was maybe unique to Kenya is that even when IFP did everything to try and give fairness to people who had not known fairness, some of them still experienced unfairness at that point.